Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining today's IC Realtime webinar. In today's webinar, we will be discussing IC Realtime's Trade Agreements Act product series. This is a webinar discussing our TAA line of cameras and recorders. These recorders are wholly manufactured out of our South Korean facility. I have muted everyone's microphone at the moment, but I will take any questions anyone might have at the end of the webinar. My name is Michael Caballero. I'm one of the National Sales Executives here at IC Realtime, and let's get started. So like I mentioned, we're going to be talking about the trade TAA line, which is the Trade Agreements Act line. This is an act of Congress that governs trade agreements negotiated between the United States and other countries, designed to foster the growth and maintenance of an open world trading system and expand United States commerce and international trade, as well as improve international trading and help with the task enforcement. So with TAA line, this is a line again where our gear is wholly manufactured out of South Korea, which is not a banned country. As you can see in this list here, we have a few different countries that are banned from the TAA. That's going to be China, Iran, India, Iraq, Indonesia, Pakistan, Russia, Malaysia, and Sri Lanka. So what is the TAA series? Excellent gear alternative to Chinese-made gear. It's not imported from any countries that are prohibited, developed to conform to TAA requirements, superb quality, and triple fortified against vulnerabilities. And this is separate from the NDAA 889 compliance. So why would we create a TAA line? We've been wanting to move out of Chinese manufacturing for probably since the beginning of 2019, where we started our initiative. Of course, COVID kind of threw a wrench in things and slowed things down a bit, but we are about 60% there in terms of gear that is manufactured in South Korea. So not made in China, made in South Korea, high quality assurance, competitively priced. It is fortified against vulnerabilities. We use feature sets like our digest authentication for interaction with our recorders and cameras. We use eight character minimum passwords, two-step verification, HTML5 programming. So pretty much fortified against any intrusions you could think of. Privacy and secure, so 10-year warranty on all of these still, UL listed, H265 compression, again, that HTML5 no plugin interface, and best-in-class integration. So these are some of the concerns that TAA products will address. One is going to be cybersecurity that we discussed, as well as firmware breaches, country of origin, lack of alternatives, of course, local procurement and privacy, supply chain, quality control, vulnerabilities, price prohibition, procurability, and total landed cost. Majority of our TAA line, as well as our other gear, is being flown in at this point in terms of shipping due to issues with global procurement, especially at water-based ports. So we are flying everything in. So we do have gear in stock, and we are able to ship day of. So this is what the timeline is for our TAA line. So Q3, Q4, we started making a plan to exit manufacturing in China in 2019. We mapped out and executed that strategy. In 2019 Q2, we procured the first SKU from the South Korean factory. By Q4 2019, we successfully executed production of the top 4 cameras in our product line. Then in Q2 2020, we launched a TAA series with 10 camera SKUs and 2 recorders. In Q1 2021, more camera SKUs and recorders added to the NDAA compliant list of devices. Currently, we manufacture 3 NDAA compliant recorders. That's the FX08, 16, and 8128. IC Realtime has 4, and by Q3 2020, we had 14 TAA cameras and 5 recorders. Of course, by Q3, Q4 2021, we are on pace for 100% green manufacturing, except for PTZs. And then on 2022 Q1, so very, very soon, we're planning on offering full TAA and NDAA compliant cameras and recorders. So the cameras that we have right now in our TAA line include cameras like our IPFX B40V, D40V, as well as our IPMX D20F, IPMX B40F, IPMX B20F, E20F, then the IPMX E40F, as well as the IPMX W20F and IPMX W40F. Now, since the creation of this webinar, we've added quite a bit more cameras and recorders to that TAA line, with more being added every month. These are some of our cameras here that support TAA line. And as you can see here, even from our South Korean manufacturing, you still get all of the same feature sets and functionality, including a full suite of analytics. And here's another example of some of our cameras and recorders operating with those analytics, including line crossing, tripwires, intrusion zones. As you can see, it's very, very efficient in capturing vehicles entering and exiting and occupying those intrusion zones. So some of the recorders that we are carrying is going to be the NVR FX16, NVR FX08, MX16 and 08. And the differences between those two are going to be the MX is our shelf mount recorders, and the FX is our rack mount recorders. Otherwise, they are virtually identical. It's just chassis size, that's the only difference. And then we have our NVR 8128K, now called the NVR EL128. This is also coming out of Korea, and you'll soon, and within the next couple of months, you'll see the NVR EL32, EL16, and EL64 coming out of our Korean facility as well. So now what I'll do is I'll take any questions that anyone might have. I know this is a bit of a shorter webinar, but if you have any questions, go to the top of your Zoom meeting, go to the Q&A tab, and you can drop any questions you have in there. Jeffrey, question, any truth that TAA compliance has anything to do with admissibility in court cases? To be quite honest with you, I haven't seen anything to indicate that TAA compliance matters in admissibility in court. I would think as long as the file is tamper-proof, and as long as the file is watermarked and can be traced back to the recorder of origin, that the file can be used in court. No problem, Jeffrey. All right. Well, it looks like no one else has any questions at this time. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us on today's IC Realtime webinar. My name is Michael Caballero. I'm one of the National Sales Executives here at IC Realtime. Have a fantastic day and stay safe.